Hello there, welcome to episode 13 of Never Mind the Bullens, the bite-sized weekly Everton vodcast and podcast, although this week bi-weekly, because this is the second episode of the week, what with us playing 2 games this week, and it will be the same next week as well, with this pretty intensive start to the season. We're going to look forward to West Brom on Saturday a little bit later, and also discuss some transfer speculation as well, which some of it has come off the back of last night's game, but firstly, let's talk about the game itself. Salford City, second round of the Carabao Cup, a very comfortable win. And to be honest, we got the performance as well. Now, it's easy to say when you play lower league teams you're playing a lower league team, so, you should. But as we know, and not just from Everton, but lots of other teams as well, lots of other clubs, you can play against lower league opposition at home and you kind of labour to a win, whereas Everton didn't do that last night. Even though there were 10 changes from the game at Tottenham on Sunday, the intensity was still there, the pace was still there, the play was still there, and we dominated as we should have done. The only slight disappointment is that we could and probably should have won by more, and certainly should have had the game wrapped up a little bit earlier than we did. And a little bit of profligacy in front of goal. We'll talk about Moise Kean a little bit more because I want to sort of delve into his performance a little bit. But overall, excellent all round. Can't really say too much about João Virginia or make any sort of judgment based on that on his debut, his full first team debut, because he didn't have anything to do, because the defence in front of him was so well marshalled, particularly by Michael Keane. Obviously, a bit of a disappointment with Jarrad Branthwaite going off, and that's obviously might give us rise to will give us rise from what Carlo has been saying to delve into the transfer market. It looks like the Fikayo Tomori deal seems to have gone a little bit quiet. He seems to want to stay and fight for his place at Chelsea. Fair play to him. I think he's going to have his work cut out getting into a team when he's got Rudiger, Zuma, Christensen and Thiago Silva probably ahead of him in the pecking order as well, but that's his decision. Let's be fair, realistically, he's not going to come to Everton and walk into the first team, so I can understand why he's made that decision. At this stage, at the time of recording, we don't know how long Jarrad Branthwaite's going to be out for with his ankle injury, just turning his ankle. Hopefully, it's not too serious, but that does only leave us with 2 centre-halves at the moment, 2 fit centre-halves, with Mason Holgate obviously being out for several weeks. So, probably going to have to go in and get another defender. Don't think we need another left-back, though. I thought Niels Nkonkou was outstanding on his debut. Loved his positional play, his intelligence, his pace, defended well when he had to, certainly was making the correct decisions in terms of his passing, was a support for Anthony Gordon. They were combining quite well down the left-hand side, particularly early on in the game. I'm really, really impressed with him, and he was certainly my man of the match, as he was for a lot of other fan accounts that I saw as well. Not the man of the match on the telly, though, because that was given to Gylfi Sigurdsson, and to be fair, player of Gylfi Sigurdsson's undoubted quality that we know he's got should be dominating teams in League 2. But everybody contributed. That was Tom Davies's best performance for quite some time in terms of his dynamism within the game. But again, it's Salford, and that's the slight concern with Tom Davies. Anthony Gordon was terrific. Impressed with Moise Kean as well. I think work needs to be done on his positional play, because there were a number of times where I thought he's just got himself in the wrong position. He wasn't attacking the spaces that he needed to, where he was sometimes hanging around at the back post waiting for balls to come to him. And there was a particular incident, the Gylfi Sigurdsson's goal. He was done exactly what I'd said to my mate while I was sat in the Glebe on County Road last night watching the game with my mate Joe. That he should have picked up when Anthony Gordon got down the left hand side about 10 minutes before that happened, and Moise Kean wasn't quite sure where to put himself and went too far forward, instead of just having that bit of football intelligence, that nous that you need at the top level to just hang back and just wait for the ball to be cut back and give himself, and he could have just easily slotted the ball home. But on another day, he got his goal from the penalty, very nicely taken. On another day, could have had a hat-trick. Anthony Gordon could and probably should have got a goal. He probably absolutely deserved one. He was very unlucky with that lovely run and cutting shot with Chert bent onto the far post. But overall, performance excellent, and shows that we've got at this point, players that are obviously chomping at the bit. Obviously, there's been a bit made about Moise Kean in terms of, was one of the players that's been linked with a move out of the club as part of trying to clear out some of the squad players that we maybe don't need. I'm very much keen to persist with Kean. I think, we cast our mind back 3 years to Dominic Calvert-Lewin when he was the same age as Moise Kean is now, and I didn't think that Dominic Calvert-Lewin was going to be good enough to make it. I thought he was a decent player, but I didn't think he was good enough, and look how far he's come with coaching. And I think Moise Kean has got all those raw attributes in terms of his physicality, his pace, powerful. He can score goals. He's good in the air. A bit unlucky with the one with the header that hit the crossbar. Maybe again, it's just about intelligence. Thinking, actually, did he need to head it with that sort of force? He could have just nodded it into the corner, glanced it in, and it would have been a goal. But I think we need to work with him. Obviously, there are players that we do need to get shut of, the likes of Sandro Ramirez, Mo Bezic, etc. Alex Iwobi, I'm torn, because even though I don't think he's good enough, I think from a business point of view, we've got to try and persist with him, because if we sold him now, we would lose an absolute stack of money on him. There's no way we get anywhere even close to what we paid for him 12 months ago back. And how can we keep throwing in good money after bad? We've done it with managers that we've got rid of, and we can't keep losing vast quantities of money on transfer fees. And Yannick Bolasie, controversial opinion this may be, I would be prepared to give Yannick Bolasie a go. He's done as Oumar Niasse did before him in terms of has just got on, hasn't wanted to be out on loan, wanted to fight for his place at Everton, has been, he's been come in, he's been professional, he's tried, he's working hard, and is he any worse than Alex Iwobi? I would argue not. So, there we go. Feel free to react to that in whatever way you want at NMTB Pod, which you can see obviously on the bottom of your screen if you're watching the vodcast. In terms of other transfer news, obviously we do need to delve back into the market, as I was saying, for a central defender. But one interesting one that's come up is that Idrissa Gana Gueye is deemed surplus to requirements at Paris Saint-Germain. Now, he is being linked with West Ham and Crystal Palace. And for me, I think it's a no-brainer that we go and get him back, because, and make a cheeky offer what we paid for him from Leicester. From Aston Villa, I should say, a few years ago when we bought him, 7 million. See if we can get him, because I think we need another player like him. He'd come and slot back in. He knows the people, obviously the management's changed since he went, but he's a player that we need, because we can't expect Allen to play every single game, and that's where we need a bit of depth. We haven't got another Allen if he's not there, and Gana's definitely that, and will absolutely give competition for places. So I think it's absolutely worth making it a bid for, but obviously it'll be dependent, I assume, on us getting rid of some other players. Moving on to Saturday then. I was a bit surprised that we changed the entire team, but as my mate Joe very sagely pointed out, and he said, well, I would have thought players would have wanted minutes in their legs, but he quite rightly pointed out that obviously, with such a short turnaround between last night and Saturday, particularly being a lunchtime game, that we needed to rest players and not overextend them at this early juncture of the season. But obviously West Brom will be smarting from their sort of opening day pasting or opening weekend pasting at home to Leicester, so they're going to come at us. But if we perform at anywhere near 80-90% of the level that we performed at against Tottenham last Sunday, then I think there's no danger that we should win that game and win it well. I like West Brom. I've got many mates that are West Brom supporters. In fact, I'm playing cricket with two of them on Sunday. Hello, Joe and Dom. Another Joe in actual fact. But it's a game that we absolutely should win. So fingers crossed for a good performance to carry on, as I mentioned before, about us, winning a game, a really perceivably difficult game away from home at home, and then following it up with a really poor performance in the following league game on a game we should win. Hopefully that won't happen on Saturday. I will be back with episode 14 after the game on Saturday. But until then, come on, you Blues.